The college baseball experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up today with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick, plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And it is showtime once again, back here on the college baseball experience. And man, oh man, did we have a bombshell here in college baseball news today. About 4 hours ago, came across the timeline, and my producer or graphic designer, Cameron Kerr, says, "Good riddance, Schloss. Doesn't even deserve an episode, scumbag human." We're going to talk all about it because this is tremendous, amazing for the game of college baseball and the growth of this very sport. We just had the national championship game, one of the most viewed national championship games, by the way. Where is that stat real quick? We had in game one, 2.26 million viewers, third most watched finals game one on ESPN platforms. Game two, 2.92 million viewers, the most watched finals game two on ESPN platforms ever. And then in game three, 3.34 million viewers, the second most watched finals game three on ESPN platforms in history. Game two and game three each peaked with over 4 million viewers. And now one of the head coaches from those teams is no longer with his program. Tremendous, tremendous stuff here that we've got going on in college baseball. Let's set the scene. Early on Monday, the Texas Athletic Department and former baseball head coach David Pierce announced that they would be mutually parting ways on the same day of Game 3 in the College World Series Finals, where the Longhorns' bitter in-state rival Texas A&M was playing for the national championship. Texas stole the headlines, and they stole the Aggies' damn baseball coach in the process, while also distracting the entire fan base, possibly some members on the team, heading into the game. Jim Schlossnagle is leaving College Station for the big and bright lights in Austin, Texas. Now, don't get this twisted. Schloss didn't leave for the money or the resources. Texas Athletic Director Chris Del Conte has a tremendous friendship with Schloss that was built during their time together at TCU. Schloss is 53 years old and has 8 College World Series appearances to his name, and 5 of them were with the Horned Frogs. Chris Del Conte didn't hire Schloss, but however, CDC became the TCU athletic director in 2009, and all 5 of TCU's Omaha appearances were under Del Conte: 2010, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Del Conte and Schlossnagle have remained close friends, and it would make sense why CDC would want to keep the David Pierce separation under wraps as long as possible. But from what it sounds like, this was a done deal 2 weeks ago. Shotgun Spratling of D1 Baseball said that Longhorn players were told Schloss was coming to Austin before the College World Series even began. It was the rumor that it was a terribly kept secret. Everybody's saying that. Personally, I didn't catch any wind of this. All of my information is based off of third party and some speculation on my own part. But, people in the know, or that we all think are in the know, could say that, they knew this was going to happen weeks ago, but nobody broke the news. Nobody wanted to go out and say it. And I'm not throwing him under the bus by any means. He's probably going to want to take care of his relationships more than anything else, especially in the state of Texas. But D1 Baseball's very own Kendall Rogers is a Texas A&M student. Like I don't know if it's grad, student, alum. Um, you would have thought like something would have happened there, but he did it. I mean, Kendall was kind of teasing it here and there, did an amazing job keeping this under the wraps for Texas to come in and swipe the legs out of Aggies fans all around the world. The optics wise for this is a terrible look for Jim Schlossnagle, especially after berating local reporter for Texas Ags, Richard Zane. In my opinion, it was a very professional way to ask the question. Everybody was wondering, everybody wanted to know the answer. You had to have known that it was going to be asked at the final press conference of the season, as it is for a lot of different coaches in a lot of different sports. But at the same time, it was most certainly going to draw a reaction out of Schloss after losing a one-run game in the ninth inning in Game 3 of the College World Series National Championship. Again, if you were living under a rock, this is what Coach Jim Schlossnagle said, answering Richard Zane's question. First off, the question was, with respect to the difficult outcome tonight, but with the rumors circulating today around a specific job opening, what do you have to say about your future in Aggieland? Jim Schlossnagle then said, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question. To be honest with you, but I left my family to be the head coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. Well, less than 24 hours later, he took the Texas job. So right off the top, how sharp he came in, specifically kind of talking to Richard Zane of Texags here, was not the smartest move optics wise for Schloss here, as he made a quick exit from College Station. The second part of the answer is what made me believe that this was kind of on its way and he was kind of out the door here in College Station as the new head coach of Texas baseball. He goes, that's unfair to talk about something like that. That would be like asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. Well, think about it. Braden Montgomery is going to be a top 10 pick in this upcoming MLB draft. That's an obvious answer that he's going to sign. So is it an obvious answer that he's going to head over to Austin to be the new head coach of Texas baseball? The way that it's phrased is certainly interesting, and it ended up coming true. And I love how he refers to this job, not to Texas A&M, not like with Aggies, not with the 12th man. He just goes job here in this next part. He says, I understand you've got to ask the question, but I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, past tense. And I poured every ounce is past tense as well, of my soul in this job. And I gave this job every ounce I could possibly give it. All past tense. Write that, he finishes. To me, I figured he was out the door, unfortunately, for Aggies fans. Now Texas A&M, the fans, the administration, possibly, they're going to use this pressure to weaponize their defenses and accusations against Schloss as he exits, saying that he had 1 foot out the door going into the College World Series. But Aggie fans, you took this guy from an in-state school yourselves just 3 years ago. Look in the mirror. This is the state of college athletics. And my friends, the Longhorns once again just kind of have their hands on top of your heads, just holding you down underwater. And this move once again kind of shows that you're kind of right now. I mean, it's hard for me to tell you, but the in-state little brother and your in-state rival Longhorns needed a very experienced head coach to enter the SEC with, and they hit a home run with this hire. Schloss has been a head coach in the state of Texas since 2004. He was only with A&M for 3 of those seasons. I don't feel bad for A&M fans. Schloss delivered your most successful 3-year stretch in program history, and he's leaving not for money, not for fame, not for a better place to live. The biggest reason for this was just friendship with the AD over there at Texas, because that's who he had his biggest and best success with at TCU, and he considers he considers Chris Del Conte one of his best friends. Bottom line, I don't have any sympathy for the 12th man because they celebrated this exact thing 3 years ago, taking Schlossnagle from TCU, and now it's come full circle. Before I get through to the second half and kind of what's going to happen here coming up, I want to tell you guys to make sure to check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as they've started their top 10 fantasy football preview series. The quarterbacks and tight ends episodes are already live, and it's never too early for the National Football League. The college baseball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th for the Circa Millions and or Circa Survivor and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with Football Contest Proxy to save you $50 with promo code SGP. Now let's walk through some of the official statements that we've seen here come across the timeline in the last 3 hours or so. Starting off, Texas A&M was the first one to deliver this. They put out a little thread, two-piece tweet statement from Director of Athletics, Trev Alberts. After our baseball team arrived back in College Station earlier today, Jim informed me of his desire to leave Texas A&M. While we are certainly disappointed, we are grateful for his contributions in helping our baseball program reach unprecedented heights. Baseball success is important to everyone associated with Texas A&M. We will not stop in our pursuit of excellence, and our commitment to baseball will not waver. On behalf of Texas A&M Athletics, we wish Jim and his family well as they move on to another challenge. We will find a great leader and excellent coach to head up this proud Aggie baseball program. It's then followed by a statement from Jim Schlossnagle. I would like to thank General Welsh, Trev Alberts, and the 12th man for an incredible experience during my time at Texas A&M. Although I know many will be upset with my decision, I chose to make a change to join a longtime friend to continue my career as a college baseball coach. The run to the national championship game was truly a remarkable one this year, and I will savor the memories and true friendships I've made there for a lifetime. Without much hesitation, Texas then announced their introduction for Jim Schlossnagle, their new head baseball coach, shortly after that, with a statement of their own saying, fresh off playing for the national championship, the 23-year head coach veteran takes over the Longhorns program. Jim Schlossnagle, named head coach at Texas for baseball. Jim Schlossnagle, one of the nation's premier baseball coaches who took programs at Texas A&M and TCU to historic heights over the last 21 years, has been named the head coach at the University of Texas. UT Vice President Lois and Richard Folger Athletics Director Chris Del Conte announced on Tuesday. A 23-year head coach veteran, a 23-year head coaching veteran who was twice named National Coach of the Year and led his team to the College World Series 7 times. He becomes just the 6th Longhorn head coach in baseball since 1911, with the exception of the war years between 1943 and 45, when assistant football coach Blair Cherry was at the helm. He is the 14th head coach in 123 years of Texas baseball. Schlossnagle's introductory press conference is set for Wednesday at 11 a.m. and will be streamed on texassports.com. I can't make it up. Schlossnagle with his presser at 11 a.m. That's like 36 hours after Game 3 of the College World Series concluded. The Texas Longhorns wasted no time with this move. Again, it's tremendous for college baseball. This rivalry is hotter than ever, and it's going to be Chris Beard-like. If you remember what Texas did just a couple of years ago, taking the Red Raiders national championship runner-up head coach Chris Beard, They bring him into Austin. He's now the head coach. He returns to Lubbock, and that place was an absolute madhouse. Just if we get a 2025 matchup, Texas at Texas A&M, absolute cinema. for what everybody says now these days. So yeah, that wraps up some of the official statements. So what happens next for both programs? Jim Schlossnagle is bringing his associate head coach and recruiting coordinator, Nolan Kane, with him to Austin. Kane is one of the best recruiters in the country, stemming back to his LSU days. It's also rumored that more pieces of this A&M coaching staff will tail Schloss to Austin. The elephant in the room is the rising star pitching coach, Max Wiener, who transformed a rough pitching staff in 2023 into one of the best groups in the 2024 season. Then we have to talk about the Aggies players. Gavin Grahovic, freshman in 2026, probable first rounder. Jace Laviolette, sophomore in 2025, first rounder. Shane Sdeo, who's a sophomore. Caden Kent, sophomore, and son of former MLB MVP Jeff Kent. Caden Sorrell, who's a freshman. Justin Lampkin, who's a sophomore. Isaac Morton, who's a freshman. Weston Moss, who's a freshman. Caden Wilson, who's a freshman. Jet Johnston, who's a freshman. And Jack Bell, who's a freshman. How many of these players enter the transfer portal and hit the road to Austin with Schloss? The Aggies were a projected preseason top 10 team next year. What in the world is going to happen in College Station? Lastly, the Texas A&M's coaching search should be pretty easy. Schlossnagle's buyout was north of $2 million, plus the extra layover money from the contract. AD Trev Alberts has plenty of money to hire a very good baseball coach in replacement of Jim Schlossnagle. The Aggies should relatively land on their feet here. They could choose to dig into a rich Schloss coaching tree all the way back to his days with TCU or Tulane, or they can elect to shoot for some SEC coaches with experience, whether they're currently assistants or head honchos, anything. The amount of money that they have to offer and the amount of facility commitment that they've offered to at least Schloss. They said they were willing to throw $80 million into a project to renovate Bluebell Park. So it should be a pretty attractive job for a lot of people out there. I'll be back soon to deliver some head coaching candidates, just like I did this morning for the University of Texas. So be on the lookout for that and all off-season content to come. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, or hit me up on Twitter /X and /X. The Twitter/X. A lot of Schloss. So when I said slash, it sounds like Schloss. On Twitter /X. Noah B77_. I'll be here periodically throughout the offseason, providing transfer portal and coaching carousel updates, as well as any other news along the way. Drop a like and hit that subscribe button. You've been experiencing the better side of college baseball with the College Baseball Experience. Adios, amigos.